What if we told you that 15 major U.S. airports are practically deserted? Not because of a pandemic, not because of a natural disaster, but because over 3 million tourists suddenly canceled their trips. From New York to Los Angeles, terminal lounges are empty, check-in counters are closed, and flights are vanishing from schedules. The TSA recorded its first major decline in passenger numbers since the COVID era. But this time, it's not temporary. This is part of a larger unraveling. So what's really going on? Why is America's tourism industry collapsing when it should be booming? In this video, we dive deep into the real reasons behind this unexpected meltdown, which cities hit hardest, and what it all means for travelers, workers, and the future of U.S. tourism. Stay tuned. This is the travel crisis no one saw coming. But before we begin, just a small request. We put a lot of work, research, and energy into every single video. So if you find this topic important, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. Number 10. JFK International Airport, New York. JFK International Airport, once the pride of New York and a beacon of American hospitality, now stands in haunting silence. Gone are the crowds, the buzzing intercoms, and the excited chatter of global travelers. Instead, the terminal feels hollow. Security lines are barren, check-in counters unattended, and luggage carousels revolve pointlessly, waiting for bags that never arrive. Once a symbol of opportunity and openness, JFK now resembles a faded monument to a more connected past. In 2025 alone, New York City is expected to lose over 3 million international visitors, costing the city a staggering $25 billion in tourism revenue. High-end restaurants like Le Bernardin have open tables. Iconic streets like Fifth Avenue echo under the footsteps of a few locals. Even the magic of Broadway feels dimmed, with performances often playing to half-empty theaters. The change isn't just economic, it's emotional. It's not that I hate America, one former visitor said, but I no longer feel welcome. The shift in perception has caused a quiet withdrawal from those who once viewed New York as a dream destination. The runways are still functional. The planes still land, but something deeper is missing. Number 9. Los Angeles International Airport, California. Los Angeles International Airport, once the glamorous gateway to the stars, and the shining symbol of Southern California's charm, now echoes with emptiness. Once bustling with flashing cameras, luxury luggage, and excited tourists from around the world, Los Angeles today feels abandoned, like a movie set waiting for a cast that never shows up. The Toronto-Los Angeles route, once one of the busiest international links, has slashed 76% of its capacity. Canadians, once reliable visitors, are staying home. Why the sudden pullback? A combination of factors is to blame. Canada has issued a travel advisory for the United States, citing rising crime and unpredictable healthcare costs. The Canadian dollar has weakened significantly, making travel to U.S. cities like Los Angeles painfully expensive. And then there's fear. Fear of violence, theft, and political instability. One Toronto father said, "We used to vacation here every summer, but now I just don't feel safe bringing my kids." In just the first half of 2025, Los Angeles experienced a devastating 30% drop in international arrivals, its steepest decline in decades. Hotels sit half full. Tour buses are parked. Hollywood Boulevard is quiet. The palm trees still sway, but the tourists have vanished. Number 8. O'Hare International Airport, Chicago. Chicago O'Hare International Airport, once a cornerstone of global connectivity, and one of the busiest airports on Earth, now feels eerily quiet. Once defined by the non-stop rhythm of rolling suitcases and boarding calls, O'Hare's pulse has slowed dramatically. Gates that once buzzed with activity now sit closed by midday. Shops and restaurants once open late for weary travelers now shutter early, due to lack of foot traffic and staffing shortages. Even major airlines long anchored at O'Hare are quietly shifting routes to smaller, more cost-efficient airports in neighboring cities. What was once the crossroads of the world is now at risk of becoming a layover no one wants to take. Experts point to a combination of rising operational costs, traveler fatigue, and increasing crime rates in Chicago's urban core. Many international passengers have begun bypassing the city entirely, choosing to connect through other U.S. hubs with fewer delays and less tension. O'Hare was once a symbol of American mobility, fast, vast, and always in motion. Now, it stands like a monument to a time when travel was full of promise. The terminals remain, the runways are open, but the movement that once defined this iconic hub has slipped away. Number 7. Orlando International Airport, Florida. Orlando, once the crown jewel of family vacations and a symbol of childhood wonder, is now seeing its sparkle dim. The city that welcomed millions of dreamers to its theme parks. Especially Disney World is facing a sobering reality. Magic comes with a steep price tag in 2025. Where once families waited months just to snag a reservation, now availability is wide open even in peak summer. A mother from Texas had promised her son a Disney trip if he aced his school year. He did, but when she saw the cost, over $2,800 for airfare, hotel, and park tickets, she quietly backed out. Disney is under renovation, she told him. In truth, it was her budget that was under strain. Since 2019, airfares to Orlando have surged by 45%, while hotel rates have doubled. Add food, transport, and extras, and what was once a middle-class dream now borders on elite indulgence. For many families, Disney is no longer a rite of passage, it's a financial burden. Childhood dreams are no longer about meeting Mickey, but learning disappointment early. Orlando still has its castles and fireworks, but for many, the magic now feels just out of reach. Number 6. Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, Washington. Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, once a thriving bridge between the Pacific Northwest and the global tech world, now feels disconnected. Once crowded with international arrivals, tech entrepreneurs from Tokyo, digital nomads from Seoul, and backpackers from London, SeaTac gates are noticeably quieter. Flights from major hubs abroad have become infrequent and underbooked. A software engineer from Tokyo who used to visit Seattle annually put it bluntly, "We moved our tech summit to Singapore. It's more affordable, safer, and just makes more sense now." Seattle's struggles go beyond rising costs. The growing homeless crisis around the airport has become impossible to ignore. Hotel taxes have climbed, and stories of theft and random violence in downtown areas have circulated widely on international travel forums. The city that once welcomed innovation and exploration now feels risky to many visitors. In 2025, for the first time in over a decade, Seattle was dropped from Asia's list of top 10 U.S. destinations. That's not just a travel stat, it's a warning sign. The fog that once gave Seattle its charm now feels symbolic, a haze of uncertainty hanging over the future of American tourism. Tech may still thrive here, but tourism? It's fading fast. Number 5. McCarran International Airport, Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas, once the dazzling escape where neon dreams came alive, is now flickering in silence. McCarran Airport, formerly buzzing with excitement, and late-night arrivals feels eerily still. Empty terminals mirror the emptiness found on the Strip, where hotel rooms sit vacant and casino floors are quieter than ever. The jackpot bells aren't ringing like they used to. Flight cancellations are up. Casino revenues have taken a steep hit. Layoffs among hospitality staff are growing, and the famed energy of Vegas nightlife feels like a ghost of its former self. A single mother from Vancouver shared, "Vegas was my freedom. A weekend to reset. But now, between rising costs, safety fears, and the vibe shift, I don't feel like it's for me anymore." In the second quarter of 2025, Las Vegas tourism dropped by 8%, translating into hundreds of thousands fewer visitors. For a city that thrives on people, performance, and packed venues, it's a crushing blow. The lights still shine, the marquees still flash, but something deeper has dimmed. Vegas isn't losing electricity, it's losing its audience. The applause has faded, not because the show ended, but because fewer are showing up to watch it. Number 4. Denver International Airport, Colorado. Denver International Airport, once a thriving hub connecting the coasts and the heartland, now stands as a symbol of America's shifting relationship with air travel. Once packed with travelers zigzagging across the country, its terminals are now noticeably quieter. Staff have been let go, gates sit unused, and flight cancellations have become routine. Airfare has jumped 26% since pre-pandemic levels, yet the experience has worsened. Longer delays, minimal customer service, and fewer amenities. The frustration has led many Americans to choose the open road instead. A 12-hour drive now feels more dependable than a 2-hour flight riddled with delays and chaos. One IT worker from Colorado put it bluntly, "I stopped flying. No apology, no refund, and no trust left. I'd rather be in control of my own trip." Denver has now recorded 3 consecutive quarters of declining TSA traffic, something not seen since the immediate aftermath of 9/11. This isn't due to a global crisis. It's not international fear. It's domestic disillusionment. Americans once loyal to the skies are grounding themselves, not out of fear of flying, but because the journey no longer feels worth the price, the stress, or the uncertainty. The Great American Road Trip is back, and the runways are losing relevance. Number 3. Daniel K. Inouye International Airport, Honolulu. Daniel K. Inouye International Airport in Honolulu, once the vibrant entryway to paradise, is now noticeably quieter. Flights from major Asian cities Tokyo, Osaka, Seoul have been slashed. Once a bustling hub for Japanese tourists who made up the backbone of Hawaii's tourism economy, the airport now sees far fewer arrivals. In 2025, Japanese tourism reached its lowest point in 3 decades. What happened to paradise? Rising airfare and hotel rates have priced out many would-be travelers. Strict new tourism caps and environmental regulations, though aimed at preserving the islands, have unintentionally discouraged return visitors. On top of that, growing local resentment toward over-tourism has created a cultural shift. Some visitors report feeling less welcome, with protests, signage, and social media campaigns urging tourists to stay away. A longtime visitor from Osaka shared, "Hawaii always felt like a second home, but now it feels like we're intruding. The beaches still shimmer, the waves still roll, and the sunsets remain breathtaking, but the energy has changed." Once filled with laughter, luau's, and packed resorts, many areas now feel subdued. Honolulu hasn't lost its beauty, but its warmth. The very thing that made it special is fading with every empty seat. Number 2. Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport, once bustling with snowbirds fleeing the Canadian cold, now feels strangely still. For decades, Phoenix was a favorite winter escape for retirees and families from Alberta, British Columbia, and Ontario. But in 2025, that warmth, both literal and emotional, has faded. Some Canadian routes have seen a staggering 70% drop in passenger volume. Airlines have cut back, and gate areas once packed with tourists and sun hats now sit nearly empty. What happened? Multiple forces are at play. Canada's government has issued travel advisories for U.S. cities due to rising crime, healthcare uncertainties, and political instability. At the same time, the Canadian dollar has weakened, making everything from hotels to meals significantly more expensive. Many former visitors say it simply isn't worth it anymore. One retiree from Calgary summed it up. "I used to spend 3 months a year in Phoenix. Now, with the costs and the mood in the U.S., I'll stay closer to home. The sun still shines brightly over Arizona, but the crowds that once basked in it are gone." Phoenix hasn't lost its desert charm, but it has lost the seasonal migration that made its winters so lively. Even sunshine, it seems, has its limits. Number 1. Philadelphia International Airport, Pennsylvania. Philadelphia International Airport, once a vital hub between Europe and America's East Coast, now echoes with unsettling quiet. In the summer of 2025, what used to be a steady stream of international travelers has slowed to a trickle. The terminal gates sit mostly empty. Food courts are half shuttered. The iconic Liberty Bell, once a must-see for European tourists on layovers, gathers fewer eyes than ever before. In the past, Philadelphia welcomed nearly 500,000 visitors from the UK, Germany, and Italy each year. But this year, travel agencies report a 42% decline in bookings through PHL. Rising ticket prices, flight delays, and growing dissatisfaction with airport services have made the city an afterthought. Even domestic flyers are choosing alternatives like Newark or Baltimore. One German tourist shared, "I loved the history here, but after my flight was canceled twice and the staff gave no answers, I'd rather go somewhere else." This isn't just about tourism. Local businesses around the airport have seen revenues fall by 30%. From colonial charm to modern despair, Philadelphia's gateway to the world is slowly becoming a forgotten terminal. The birthplace of American democracy is now struggling to welcome the world back in. And there you have it, the eerie truth behind America's empty airports. From JFK to LAX, Orlando to Honolulu, terminals that once pulsed with energy now echo with silence. It's not a pandemic, it's not a ban, it's something deeper. A loss of trust, rising costs, and fading dreams. If your local airport made the list, you're not alone. Millions are feeling the shift. So what's next for U.S. travel? Are we witnessing a temporary pause? Or the long goodbye of global tourism? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Have you canceled a trip recently? Would you still choose to fly to the US? If you found this video eye-opening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories reshaping our world. Thanks for watching. See you again in next video.